Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Thursday, in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. Can you believe it's gonna be Christmas in 10 days? What? Christmas in 10 days, folks. So I have an interesting one for you tonight. Pain and pleasure. Kind of a funny one. Well, not a really funny one. Um, this is a true story, and I haven't told the true story for a minute. So I'm excited to share this story. Although I gotta warn you, Team Money, I gotta warn you about the story. It is not for the weak heart. So if you got a weak heart and you're like, but I guarantee you, you're gonna love the feedback and the takeaway from this one. So the story goes that in 1951, Joseph Stalin was the ruler of Russia, and in a meeting, he actually had some of his crew. He asked his crew to bring in a chicken, a live chicken, and he brings yeah, he gets this live chicken, and in one hand, again, if you're an animal activist, if you have a weak heart, please, I'm not gonna get gruesome on you, but you can just imagine. So in one hand, he's taking. Hi, Shadi June. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you. So I was sharing a story back in 1951. Joseph Stalin was the ruler of Russia, and in a meeting, he asks his assistants to bring in him a chicken. You're gonna call PETA again? Yes. This is. Thank goodness this is back in 1951. So it's been a while. So they bring him a live chicken, right? And in one hand, he's squeezing the chicken, and with the other hand, he's taking the feathers off one by one. Now, if you can imagine this scene, for some maybe it's a little too graphic, but if you can imagine that scene, just imagine the pain that chicken is under, right? This is a true story. So he's squeezing the chicken in one hand, and he's pulling the feathers in with another hand, and he does this with all of it. He basically kind of takes the feathers off the chicken, drops the chicken on the ground, and drops some breadcrumbs or food for the chicken on the ground. And by everyone's surprise, and he starts walking around the room dropping food, and by everyone's surprise, this chicken follows him around the room. You guys, this story gives me goosebumps how powerful this story is. And he turns around to his crew and he says, this is how you can rule stupid people. You can give him so much pain. You can inflict so much pain. But as soon as you give them a little tiny bit of pleasure, they're willing to follow you around. Drop us some fire emojis if you think that is a freaking gangster of a story. So what's the takeaway here? Why am I sharing this story with you? The takeaway, as you're joining me live, let me know you're here, because I see the eyeballs go up, and eyeballs, when I say it shows me there's more people on here live, but I don't know who's here, who's not here. So if you like a shout out, let me know who's here. But this story, I thought it was just crazy, and I can Let's not get me started on today's America. You know I don't do politics. So, but it's crazy because, I mean, you can dub that down and bring it to like everyday life. You know, everyday life, you experience pain somehow or other. You may be in a situation where you're in a really crazy ass job and you hate your job and you hate going to work and you hate getting up and right, and that's so much pain. But then you get that paycheck in 2 weeks and it's like, ah, I'll take that pain. I'll follow Stalin around the room. You may be stuck in a very abusive relationship. It doesn't have to be a physical abuse. A mental, emotional, spiritual abuse is the same. It can be, right? You may be in a relationship, a toxic relationship, painful, hate it. But as soon as you get a little bit of love, you just melt and you're just, oh. We do that in everyday life. It doesn't have to be Russia and Stalin as an example. We do this in everyday life. We've been programmed to take pain and just top it off with just a little bit of pleasure and call it a day. So many, hey, I'm gonna go somewhere, all right? So many of us may settle for things, for people, for jobs, for situations, for businesses, for everything. Settling is that it's the same. When you settle, you're taking some kind of a, I mean, arguably some kind of a pain. You're just topping it off just a little, let me just get a little flavor of pleasure, and that'll be good enough for me. But let me take all this mountain of pain and you just put that little cherry on top, or just a little sprinkle of chocolate. Like once in a blue moon, I go to Starbucks, and if I get a Frappuccino with whipped cream on it, I gotta have my sprinkled chocolate, right? I gotta have my sprinkled chocolate. So it's like all this, and then this little flavor of sprinkled chocolate. It's like we are like that chicken. The world, the society, the universe, the neighbor, the husband, the wife, that friend, that coworker, that employer. We get it from all of that. But then just a little bit of love, right? Just kind of wipes it away. And I'm here to share with you that that's kind of dangerous. It may be wiped away for a little bit, but it doesn't go away. There's a big difference. See, you can wipe something away, but wiping away, that means you gotta keep wiping. It doesn't go away, right? It's gonna come back. It may be like bigger and then badder. Oh, I just saw your comment, Shadi Jun. Very true. Yeah. So I'm here to share with you. Thought of the day is this. Hey, if you feel, if you gotta recognize it. I mean, it's not like you're sitting here like, oh, what is he talking about? Come on, like, you know, when you're like in that kind of a pain pleasure equation, you know, so much of that and a little bit of this, right? You already know. And if you're in that situation, it's kind of uncomfortable, it's kind of tight, it just doesn't feel right. Can't put your finger on it, but it just doesn't feel right. And then it's worthy of your attention. It's worthy of you taking a look. It's worthy of you saying, hey, do I have a balance between pain and pleasure, or is it just I'm taking a lot of crap in general from everything, and should it be time for me to kind of just say, hey, let me take a look at all this stuff and reevaluate, right? So I'm here to share with you. Maybe you can up the equation or flip the equation and have much more pleasure than pain. And hopefully you're working on that. Hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, share it. Don't be shy, folks. And hey, I know we all know that one person. We all know that one person who's look. Isn't it weird that I'm gonna end with this? Isn't it weird that we always see the other person with all that pain and a little bit of pleasure, but we don't ever see ourselves, right? We love to give our opinion and thoughts about, hey man, you know, hey bro, or hey woman, I guess. I don't know what to say. Like we love to give that opinion, but we don't ever like take a look over here and say, hey, well, I'm taking a lot of stuff. I gotta kind of, I gotta flip the switch. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. It gives you a little bit of something to think about, and hopefully pay attention to. Like I said, if you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do, spread the love. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.